Welcome to the Garage Engineer channel. The workshop was invited to attend a craft market at a local distillery called Remedy. So in honor of their newly released bourbon whiskey, we decided to build a display. The new whiskey has a peach flavor to it, so that's kind of the theme of this build. It's going to be to celebrate the peachiness of the whiskey. So as you see here, the material we decided to use for the base is walnut, which is one of my favorite. And here we are putting the base together, the walls of it, and using a wood glue and CA glue combination so that you get the strength of the wood glue but the quick drying of the CA glue. Now for the top and the bottom of the base, we are going to cut them out at the same time. So then we're using the blue tape and CA glue trick and temporarily putting them together, and that spray there is kind of an activator for CA glue, so it will dry even faster than normal, probably in about 5 seconds, whereas normal CA glue takes about 30 seconds to fully dry. So the shape of the base, I wanted it to be square, but due to some of the logistics of the motion of the peach, we had to make it kind of look like a pentagon. And here I am just testing out the mechanics of it. We're going to have this peach kind of be a rotating peach at top, kind of like the barber poles that they had in the past, where you had something moving and to attract customers to it. Here I've got a voltage control module connected to just a regular hobby motor, and then I had to 3D print some of the wheels that's connected to the post that's going to be eventually holding the peach and spinning it around. So now we are taking our top and bottom pieces of the base and we're going to attach it to the CNC machine just to get a more precise cut. This could be done with hand tools, but we've got a CNC machine in the shop and I like the precision of it. So it's going to go ahead and cut the opening for the lights. And this is where the bottle is going to be displayed at. I love watching the CNC machine cut out shapes, just the precision of it and how clean it cuts. So here I'm just doing a little bit of sanding, getting it ready for the lights. But before we do that, I wanted to put just a chamfer on the edge of the top and the bottom. I love the 45-degree look. It just depends on the design if I do rollover or if I do the 45-degree, but typically I like to do the 45-degree cut. So for the top base, I'm going to glue it to the sides, but the bottom will be later screwed into so that it can be removed if I ever need to make any adjustments. So now I'm just drilling the hole for the post that's going to hold the peach. I drilled it halfway through from the back side, and then from the front side, the good side, I finished the drill so that it doesn't have any blowout. And now I'm just adding the blocks of where we're going to add the screw holes so that we can attach the bottom of the display. Now I'm just using a longer drill bit here to extend it down so that it will be perpendicular to the bottom of the base. And then I have to take it all apart and make the hole a little bit bigger to accept the size of the post. Now I'm just here drilling the power button and the hole for the voltage regulator. And I laid it, usually the voltage regulator is mounted on thin pieces of steel, but since this is 3/4 of an inch of walnut, I had to recess the knob so that it will attach properly, and that's what I was using with that stick to guide the Forstner bit in the right spot. And now this is the place where I'm going to be adding the power connector to. And I'm just testing the fit for my DC plug. Now here's the lights. We're going to use some 3M tape, and we're going to add it to the back of the LED lights. And I prefer this type of tape more because it's a little bit stronger than what comes on just standard LED lights. And now we're just peeling the backing off the tape and we're going to attach it to the base. So now we're just doing some of the wiring and connecting it all together. Put it into the DC plug. I'm going to connect it to the switch, and then from the switch we're going to connect it to the lights so that we can just do a test to make sure everything's working. I like to, as I go, test to make sure things are working. I don't want to wire it all together and then find out it's not working and have to take it apart and then figure out, troubleshoot it here. So here I haven't added the voltage regulator yet. I just want to make sure that the lights are working properly. Connect the power and the button works just fine. So no problems with that. So we're moving on. We're going to shorten the post of what's holding the peach down. That was to the right size. We're adding the O-ring to the V-wheels, and that's what's going to cause it to turn. I base the design off of what old record players used to do when they were moving the platter. Here I like to use a little bit of hot glue to hold everything in place to make sure it doesn't move. And now we've added the voltage regulator at this time, finishing the wiring of all the items together. Put the top on, and now we're just sanding to give that frosted look to a piece of plexiglass, and that's what's going to be the base of the display for where the bottle's going to sit. So we plug it in one more time just to give it a little test. Turn on the voltage regulator just a little bit, and I'm putting this tape on the post just so you can visually see it turning. So you can turn it from really slow to kind of a fast speed. Now we got to work on the peach. This is my favorite. This is a Bambu X1 carbon the shop just got, and this is printing the bottom half of the peach. So this peach is probably about 1.5 feet in diameter, and so I had to do it in 2 different pieces, and we're going to glue it together. And it turned out amazing. I got the design of a peach, just rough design, 3D modeled it, and then I had to blow it up to make it bigger. And now I'm just CA gluing the top and the bottom half, and it holds really well. Now there's different ways you could hide the seam. I decided to use plasterwood. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just wanted to make it solid enough because we're gonna. This is just roughly filling in the seams, whereas later we're gonna get the fine detail of it. So we just need to get it filled up, sand it down, and it sands really well. Now here I'm drilling the hole, and I 3D printed a little cap that will go inside it so that it will accept the post later on. So we need to get that in there. I wanted to go ahead and do it so we can go ahead and paint everything and blend it in. Now in the paint booth, we want to get everything primed. This is a primer paint. It's more for automotive. It's a little bit thicker than just the regular paint primer. I like it because it can be sanded down smooth. Now here, this is a 3-color paint process. First, to make it look like a peach, you do a little bit of yellow in the crevice of it. Then you get a medium orange for the overall base of it, and then top it off with a dark orange color, just with little highlights here and there just to give shadow and effect. So then you get a more realistic looking peach. Now we're painting the stem brown, and then we'll move on to the green leaf to give it that final natural looking color. I was really happy with how the paint turned out, and I enjoyed doing those multicolor paint processes. And now we're just adding a little bit of our branding. Trail 47 is our local woodworking shop name. That's how we're known locally here in Gainesville. So since this is a local company, we're branding it with the Trail 47 name on it. Here I'm just doing some final wiring and heat shrinking the ends so they don't touch. That was just more for the power sake of it. I wanted to make sure that everything worked. And we get to the end, the final reveal of putting everything together. Now this video has the voiceover on it. If you want to see it without the voiceover, you can check out the video at our Trail 47 channel, and that is just the non-vocalized added part to it. And here it is, the display, rotating peach with the Remedy Peach Whiskey. It turned out great. And if you'd like to see more videos like the one you just saw, you can check here and here. And remember the ABCs of making. Always be creating. Till next time.